Alright, what's going on everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of Peacemaker. And I gotta say, the first episode I was kind of iffy on until the end, but this episode really picks it up and really gets the show going, and you really figure out what exactly is going on. I mean, you knew with Rick Flag Senior coming in, he was going to be investigating his son's death, going after Peacemaker. And that's how the episode starts. You see Economos, he's walking Rick Flag Senior around the office, of course. Once he gets there, his first request is all the files on Rick Flag Jr.'s death. And Economos, he tries to talk him out of it, be like, I don't know, sir, it might be, might be painful to see. Also, there was a lot that happened that day, a lot of conflicting stuff, Amanda Waller, everything that happened was because of her directive. He doesn't really care. He's like, give it to me anyway. And he reads through it and he sees, what we already knew. And I like how they basically, if you never saw the Suicide Squad, the one that James Gunn directed, this is a good recap. And I like how they sprinkle through the episodes. It's not just here's the entirety, a recap of the entire movie. It's little glimpses as he's reading the file, as we see when Peacemaker was fighting Rick Flag and when he ends up killing him. And how it was hard for Peacemaker, boo-hoo, he killed him, because, he looked up to Rick Flag, and he only killed him because of the mission that he was on. And Rick Flag Sr. even reads in the file that Rick Flag's last words were, Peacemaker, what a joke. He knows everything now, and so now that's how his vendetta against Peacemaker starts.
Bordeaux.
Sir.
I want a surveillance unit on Christopher Smith. 24/7, immediately.
Sir, the Peacemaker is in our agency's grace because of his work in Project Butterfly.
Fuck the Peacemaker.
And I gotta say, I really enjoyed the intro now with this episode. Again, with the first episode, the intro, I was kind of like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it fits. And also, again, the first season's intro was just really good. And the song was just amazing as well. With the show establishing what's actually going to be happening going forward, the intro, at least in my opinion, fits better now, and it actually blends in with the show. And Peacemaker, he calls over Vigilante so that they can cut up the body of the dead Peacemaker, because obviously he has to hide the evidence as Economos is watching outside. At this point, he doesn't know that yet. And Vigilante's funny because he comes over, and obviously the people from the orgy are still there, but they're sleeping because it's in the morning. Vigilante comes over and he's jealous that he had an orgy, but not for that reason. He even says, I don't even care about the sex. He's I just want to bond with my friend Chris, which is just so funny. That his character is basically being established as asexual, because he even says so. He's I don't even like sex. I just like bonding with my bro. So it's just, his character is just insane, which is why you like him, because he's an idiot, but he can be a good friend of Peacemaker. He's a little clingy, but also he can kick ass when needed to. So Vigilante all around is just a good character. And Autobio and her ex-partner, I don't really remember in the first season what exactly their plans were, but she brings it up that she wants to they were going to go to Gotham, but Autobio's plans to, leak all the files about what happened with Task Force X and, wanting to start her own business kind of grew them apart. And she goes to the ex's apartment so she can grab a few things. Turns out she's actually there, so they have a little tit-tat conversation. I don't know, it seems I understand why she would be upset, because, they had these plans that got upended because of these choices, but then when you think about it, the stuff that happened in the Suicide Squad, the fact that she did leak all that stuff, because again, even Rick Flag says, they were experimenting on children and stuff like that, so the fact that she leaked stuff like that, I mean, sure, it upended their lives and their plans, but also it's I don't know, you sound kind of selfish, in my opinion, because there were things at play that were bigger than Autobio, and she took the high road. But of course, it seems kind of selfish, because it was oh no, we were supposed to go to Gotham together, and we were supposed to do all these things, and I'm yeah, but there was also this other big thing happening, so you got to understand where I'm coming from. I understand being upset, but also it just seems a little selfish, in my opinion. I don't know. Yell at me if I'm wrong and stupid. And Harcourt has another outburst at this pharmacy. Again, it's after her bar fight from the last episode, so she's got all these bruises on her face. So she's grabbing some medical supplies and stuff like that. And this one lady that comes up to her, and she has good intentions. She's oh, are you okay? Do you need help? We have resources that can help you. And at first, Harcourt's no, it's fine. Go away. But then the lady just keeps persisting, and it's I get she had the right intentions, but she just kept persisting, and eventually Harcourt blows up on her. Again, this is one of the parts where some of the comedy that James Gunn does doesn't really work for me. Like, she makes a joke about how this one guy looks like Beaker from the Muppets, which I thought was a funny joke, but then they sat on it for a little too long.
You got a good view there, Beaker?
Beaker? Who's...
He's a Muppet.
Do I look like him?
A little.
And that's bad?
It's not good.
I'm just glad that was like the only bit in the episode. There were like other bits, but they weren't dragged out that long, and they were done by like the main characters, not just like some side cast. And it's just like, okay, like whatever. And cool for them to get their moment to shine right there, but also it was like you didn't need that. And the biggest thing for this episode is Tim Meadows' character that shows up, Langston Fleury, or whatever, however you say his name. And he's basically sent by Rick Flag Sr. to watch over Economos because he doesn't trust him. Granted, Economos is hiding information from him about Peacemaker, like the portal door in his house. As we see later when they're having the party together, Economos and Peacemaker, they're friends, so obviously he's not going to throw him under the bus, knowing the vendetta that Rick Flag Sr. has against him. I mean, understandably so, he killed his son, but again, the situation that they were under Amanda Waller's directive, he didn't have to kill him. He could have easily gone against the mission, but that's just not who Peacemaker was. That's like the first season of the show works on that, where he goes from anything for peace, at any cost, to, I'll actually think more. Instead of being a weapon that's told what to do, I'm going to think for myself and make my own decisions and do what I think is right. But Tim Meadows, he's just on another level. He's just like a smug, trolling asshole. Like one of those managers that is just like one of those managers that you have that just feels untouchable, where it's like, I can do whatever I want. He's like making like comments about wanting to have sex with Autobio, and he's like telling Economos, he's like, am I making you uncomfortable? Making those sexual comments about your friend. Like, he's just doing all these stupid things. And again, he thinks he's untouchable, so he's just being weird. And also he knows that Economos isn't trusted, so he just treats him like he's he's nothing.
Flurry. Yeah, we see it. Yeah, me and Ginger Cool are on this shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sure. Bordeaux wants to know, are you going to that thing tonight? The thing with Smith.
Yeah, I know what she means. Yes. Why?
He says he'll be there with bells on.
He said he'll be there with bells on?
Well, I added the bells part. Sounded more poetic.
Okay, Agent, don't do that. Don't embellish shit.
Sorry, Chief. Won't happen again.
And he has this weird thing where he's like, oh, I have bird blindness, so he can't tell the difference between, like, he sees eagly and he thinks it's like a parrot. And it's just so dumb. Even like later in the episode, like he has this team that comes in and they raid Peacemaker's house when he's not there, like when they're having the party together. Eagly basically just takes them all out. He doesn't kill them, but he plucks one of their eyeballs out, but he like incapacitates most of them. Even like there's like a scene where he's like, I can't tell how big the bird is. It was just the bird blindness. It was a funny joke. It was silly, but I think it was funny. I think it worked. Unlike the Beaker joke, it was something dumb, but I think it fit in the world that James Gunn's built with Peacemaker. So, and yeah, the team party at the end with all the crew, as you see that they, Autobio mentions it to Economos that they don't really get together anymore. This is like the first time they've done it in a while, but they get together like individually. Like Peacemaker and Autobio sometimes meet up, and then of course Peacemaker and Vigilante hang out, and then Peacemaker and Harcourt sometimes hang out. But this is the first time they've done it like all together. So it's good to see that the crew is still hanging on, and they're setting up that even despite everything that's going on, obviously Peacemaker, he's basically crashing out. He's having like a mental breakdown. But at least he still has somewhat of a support system. But of course, at the party, he's talking to Harcourt. Conversation doesn't really go too well. She takes something that he says the wrong way. She walks away. And end of the episode, he goes to the alternate universe, and he texts the Harcourt from that universe, because in that universe they were together. And he was looking through the other Peacemaker's phone. He found pictures of Harcourt and Peacemaker together, and they were like happy and stuff. So yeah, it's interesting that they're setting up a lot of these things where Peacemaker, he's slowly being like, the other universe doesn't seem that bad. I might just hop over there and just stay over there. But yeah, I think the second episode really stepped it up. I really enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed the first season, so I'm glad to see that the second season is getting stronger, and it's not going to be disappointing like I was kind of feeling with the first episode. Yeah, let me know down below. Did you see the new episode of Peacemaker? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know. Hit the like button, subscribe. Peace.